three viewers. And I'm like, no, that's the three of us who are watching the fucking stream.
See, games like this are why I can't trust my Steam numbers.
Right, that's fair.
Let's share this from here. Right, let's do that. I'm hosting us.
On yours.
Mitch, you're doing the intro. If you're hosting, you've got to take the whole job. You can't just half-ass it.
What was that you said?
You've got to do the intro as well. If you're being host for today, and you've got to take the whole role.
I'll take the whole role. I mean, I was the first one to talk, so it did work. Hello and welcome to Pixel Pints. Yes, McWomble lost his power today because he gets to participate, which will be fun because he usually never gets to participate in stuff. So
that's strategitic.
He should be happy.
I think there's a reason for that. Yeah.
he should be happy.
If you don't participate, you can never lose.
It's true.
So welcome to Pixel Pints. We are a bunch of guys that like to get together to talk about two great things that we enjoy. That is great beer and video games. If you want to check out our stuff, we are on Twitter at pixel_pints, and we are on Instagram at pixelpintspod. Or you can check us out on YouTube, Pixel Pints. We have archived all our stuff. Last week we did a debate on who should be fired, Jim Ryan or
Phil Spencer.
Ryan Gosling.
Phil Spencer, thank you. Ryan Gosling. That would be great. And Phil Spencer, that was fun. But you can also check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/pixelpints. That's probably what you're doing right now if you're watching us. If you're watching us live, awesome, welcome. And I'm joined by marvelous people. I have one from across the pond, Mick Womble. How are you?
I'm debating
Mick Womble?
What is Dan, chopped liver?
It's the first time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That I was like one person across the pond. I'm just floating in the air.
You could be. Mitch could have been describing you next as ethereal. You don't know. You never gave him a chance.
Don't worry, Dan. Dan, I got you an intro. Don't worry, man. Don't worry.
I can't believe you lot. You, whoever the host is, you just give that person such a hard time.
At least you know it's not personal.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. I'm doing very well. I'm on to my second beer, which I'll introduce momentarily. I'm looking forward to the British and Irish Lions squad getting announced next week.
Yes, that's gonna be awesome.
See how many Scotland players can actually get in the side.
How do you like your Titans draft?
We'll find out in 3 years. There you go.
Yeah.
And last thing, McWomble, what the heck, man? You've hosted so many times. You didn't tell us what the weather is.
It's shit. I can't look up what the weather is in Las Vegas because I've got the stream on my phone and I've got you guys on here.
All right, that's enough. Well, we'll go to Mr. Las Vegas with our weather report.
It is currently 26 centigrade. So.
And how are you today?
Oh, not too bad. Was up last night playing some Dragon Quest 11. Maybe I'll eventually finish that game. I don't know, 2 years from now.
What we really need to do is play more Second Extinction.
Yeah.
If I had been on the ball, I would have tried to request everyone try and play the RE8 demo because it's now on everything as of last night. And we could have briefly talked about that.
We'll get to that.
I didn't play it yet because
it's okay.
I got too sleepy.
It's okay. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But anyways, Mike's Q, since you dropped on in, how are you doing?
Overall, pretty well. Getting over a sinus infection. Those are awesome. Makes trying to record things great.
Gives you a new tone.
Yeah, you can hear my new tone in the latest episode of Game Pass or Fail on some other site. The learning how to compost, and it's pretty cool. Takes a lot.
Isn't composting actually just pretty easy? Because people take it very seriously, but you're putting food waste and soil together with worms, and it makes better soil.
Yeah, it makes actually good soil. Like
It depends if you do cold composting or hot composting.
Oh, don't fucking
And
start.
hot-
I'm
and
sorry.
hot composting's a
killing
bit
this
more.
conversation off right.
Hot composting takes a bit more effort.
Well, the main reason I'm learning to do it anyway is because
Disposing of dead bodies.
No, that the house that I moved into is the first time I have lived in a house that didn't have either a small patch of woods or a farmer's field nearby to be able to just toss out like yard clippings and other stuff like that. So I actually either have to pack the brown bags or I have to compost different stuff on my property. So I'm learning
So
how
for
to.
anyone under the age of say 24, this is problems that you may experience when you're 40, when you can actually afford to buy a house.
We just lost one viewer.
Composting apparently is not very interesting to this.
We went
person.
from 5 to 4.
But also, as far as gaming goes, it's awesome. I'm free. I finished all the seasonal stuff for Destiny. I got all the catalysts I want. I finished Conquerors. Like at least for like 3 weeks, I'm free. I don't have to play Destiny anymore. And I can.
Bungie have got their hooks in you. Good.
Yeah, they do. So my intention with that is to try and play through RE7 in preparation for RE8 because Resident Evil 4 is the game that I have played on the most different platforms. I first pirated as Biohazard 4 for PC, and the only controls were dual hand keyboard. That was a trip. Beat it on GameCube, Wii, and on PC again. So I've played through that on 4 different platforms, and I really enjoy that game. So, and 8 seems to have a lot of those vibes. So,
and one who is selling out public school for private school, it's Dan.
Hello.
I told you I had a special intro for you.
Thanks. No worries. Yeah, I'm
also
good.
the weather is 24C.
I haven't been playing much lately. I haven't had a chance. Been very busy with work. I jumped on a bit of Second Extinction. Seems all right. I think we're more fun with people.
Oh yeah, no, it's not fun by yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I played together, and it was a lot of fun.
I didn't really enjoy it, and I was like, I need to play with other people before I really give it a real judgment.
Is Second Extinction the objective-based anti-dinosaur game where you're like zooming across like kilometers, like to get into tunnels, take care of things, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Okay. And then I've been on the fence about Returnal because I'm not paying 70 quid for a game. This is ridiculous. I mention it weekly, but it is outrageous. I will never be buying a game.
And that's why Jim Ryan should have been fired.
Do you have a PS5?
Yeah, it's there. Let's see if I can show it. There it is behind me. It's next to the black thing, which is the Xbox.
Sorry,
the Xbox gets turned on a lot more.
Nice.
It's because your background is white. It's hard to see it actually.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry. I basically play my Xbox way more than my PlayStation 5.
70 does feel steep, but so far of the game I've seen, it looks actually really good. And
I kind of get the $70, but $70 and 70 quid isn't the same market. Well, the US price has never gone up. The UK price should have stayed at 50 quid. Yeah. And they can up the US price. I don't care.
70 quid. That's like for us, like 90 bucks.
$92 is at current conversion rates.
They always bring it to parity, and it drives around the bend. So Apple started it in the early 2000s. They're to blame for this parity.
Do you know what I think is the blame for all of this? Cold composting. Mitch, for the love of God, let's move on.
I will. Don't worry. I was gonna just quick say to Dan is.
How are you, Mitch?
Hold on. We'll get to me, but I appreciate it. Dan, because I asked Mick Womble, we're American football fans. How do you like your draft?
Happy with the first pick. Love the fact we jumped over the Giants. Always fun to screw the Giants over, especially after the dodge. Well, I was a bit upset with what we did at the last game of the season. That was pretty dodgy, but screwing them in the draft is good. I can't believe the Cowboys traded with us there. Fair play. But yeah, it was good so far. We'll see what happens though. But I'm kind of with Keith. We don't really know anything for 1 or 2 years, really.
Well, I heard something. Apologies for anyone not into sports, even though we're only talking about one specific sport, not all sports in the world. I've never understood that as a colloquialism in America. Do you not like sports? Well, there are some that I like. There are some that I don't. I haven't seen all the sports ever.
Yeah, because now that you mention it, that is. But
I guess the assumption is
I
that
quite like kabaddi, but I wouldn't
Mick,
say that it's
The,
one of my
the only,
I think
the
the
only
assumption
sport that
is-
exists is American football. Come on.
No, I think
or
no, I think
televised sports.
No,
So your American football, your basketball, your occasional soccer,
But that doesn't.
but your hockey.
no,
that
that's
doesn't
not
ring
what
true
it
in
is,
the
guys.
US.
No, it's
Because
when they,
in the UK you've got F1, darts, snooker, cricket, NFL, basketball, baseball. They're all televised.
no, I get
Okay,
it. I get, that's not
I
what
would
it is.
watch
That's not
more
what it is
darts.
because
I would watch more darts. I swear.
because they televise bowling and tennis, and it's more like it's just the assumption Americans like more than one sport. So it's like, do you like sports? General, what sports do you like? Is kind of like, it's like there's sports people and there's non-sports people. That's kind of
Yeah.
what it is.
What I'm going to do is next time someone asks me that question, I'm going to end up in a conversation about kabaddi
Okay, that
and,
sounds like
and
a plan.
see how they respond.
I'm doing.
I fucking love kabaddi.
I'm doing very well, McWomble. Thank you for asking. I do love my Bears draft. It was very, very exciting, and was surprised that we could trade up and go get a franchise quarterback that was ranked number 2 by a lot of people. Crazy, but
There's a. I don't know if you and Dan and Evan listen to Pro Football Talk
No,
do
I
with
haven't.
Mike Florio, but he said he was talking to another NFL writer who was basically saying everything about the NFL is against all of the anti-compete laws, and the only reason they get away with it is they have a contract with the NFLPA.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Where the union signs up to it. If that didn't exist, all of the stuff is anti-compete.
Yeah, for sure. You can't do that. So yeah, but anyways, doing good. I'm excited for Resident Evil 8. Gonna play that. I already pre-ordered it, so we'll see how it goes. But to
Well,
move,
Full
what
price for
platform?
games,
On what
foolish.
platform?
excuse me, McWomble. If you look at it, Resident Evil 8 is $60. It is not 70.
Still, I've been trained by the video games industry to never pay full price for anything,
I'm okay.
no
paying-
matter what a certain
I'm
creative
always-
director might think.
I'm always okay paying full price for video games if I feel like I want to play it. I want to play it. So whatever.
I'm okay paying probably full price, probably about 5 times a year.
But you know what's
To
just
be
as
fair,
good?
I
So
am going to play full price for Emmy. What's it called?
Ratchet.
Mass
Mass Effect
Effect.
Legendary Edition.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
you're not technically paying full price.
Well,
but
that's
one
true.
different
But Keith, you're paying for it.
But you
for
know
me,
what's
so-
more exciting about the Mass Effect edition? It is beer. So, anybody got beers today?
I've got beer. I've brought something onto the show before, which is called Toast, which is a brewery who uses bread to rather than yeast to prevent food waste, because millions of tons of bread goes to waste every year. Another brewery has started doing it called Crumbs. And I'm
Oh,
drinking their
that's cool.
Blooming Amber Lager. I've had this once before, but not on the show. And it's a very dark amber.
That's not too dark though. Like it's still see-throughable.
It's not overly carbonated, but it's definitely a lagered beer. So it's not something that's had carbon dioxide or nitrogen dioxide blown into it. This is natural carbonation.
Ooh,
It's actually really nice. It's quite malty for a lager. It's almost as if a lager and a brown ale had the most gorgeous love child that you could possibly imagine.
nice.
Nice. So that's what I'm having.
Anybody else
have one.
got beer?
Yep. I am having a Double Galaxy
Nice.
Imperial Pale Ale. I'm going slow.
If a galaxy is super big, how do you have a double galaxy?
Same way you have double rainbow all the time. Woohoo.
I couldn't see the ABV on that one quite clearly.
8.3,
8.3.
right? Yeah.
8.3.
Wow.
that's why you're going slow. Makes sense.
Yes.
I think Evan will quantify it as a good session beer.
It's a Pixel Point session.
It's a great
Yeah.
session.
Exactly.
So this
The,
is this is 4.8. So
Yeah, you also have a bigger bottle. This I like it's hazy but not chunky, so it's like unfiltered, but it doesn't have like the noticeable niblets going around, which I don't mind. But just for reference, to be honest, this hazy pale ale, I actually prefer it because the people who go out of their way to make a hazy pale ale, I feel are actually taking more care than a lot of the people who are just vomiting double IPAs across the market. Because I feel that like it to be honest, it is almost feels like the laziest craft brew. It's like, all right, let's take a beer. It's loaded with a shitload of hops. Everyone loves hops. Hops. And then they market it.
It's the Cookie Monster of hops.
Indeed. But it's very smooth, very and just has like just a slightly bitter bite about the middle and the end. And so it's not overwhelming you with florals and the hops on the way. And I very much enjoy it. This Desperate Times is one of those. It's one just about 12 miles away from me, and they just keep showing up at my local beer shop. And I'm like, I'll try all the new ones because you guys have you've earned my nickel, because pretty much everything you've made has been good, interesting, and not just so. Double Galaxy.
Nice.
Cool. Anyone else have a beer today?
Not this early.
Nope. I have one.
Yeah, I had about half a beer last night and fell asleep watching TV. So
that's okay. All right. Well, we'll move to the special today. So we did a show last month with Womble hosting it, which was a way to like cover the news, but like do it all within a month and like play with it and have more fun with it. So I thought of even a better idea to try. So we're going to try it and we'll see if it works out. It is called Around the Controller, gentlemen. You all are contestants on this show. You all are competing against each other on this show. I am the judge, jury, executioner on this show. And its only reason is because I
JG
to be able
JJE.
The only reason for this is because I have to have buttons to be able to show your guys' scores in real time. And so the only way to do it on OBS is for me to do it. So, or else I would give McWomble the power. So you will actually see on the stream buttons of counters will appear below your little oh, what? Oh, wrong one, maybe. Wait, am I in the right one?
You're in the top left one.
Yeah, no, I just trying to see for some reason it's not. Oh, there we go. Oh, I just learned something new in OBS. Cool. All right. I learned how to transition new objects in and out. I had them disappeared, and I thought if I make them appear, they just automatically appear. But no, I have to transition them in. So fancy. Okay, cool. So anyway, you have counters below you. We are going to go around the news on the topics of the month. And this is basically like you trying to convince me to give you points in regards to based off your argument. So of what my questions are about the topics of the week, the month. So using examples, using examples. You can compare things to things that happened before. If you think it justifies your argument, you get 1 minute and 30 seconds for each question I give you individually. Now, all of you might not get the same question. I may only touch one topic and it will be two people will only be able to talk about it, but your points will add up. And as your points add up, whoever wins at the end gets a free 2 minutes to say whatever they want.
okay.
Now, in the future, we might introduce new fun elements like, you know, if we get more people or like this many in the future, I might cut it off at certain rounds where people will be muted and because they don't have enough points to meet the threshold of the next round. But here, like, we can do some fun stuff with this and graphics and music and all that kind of stuff. So, but any questions for me?
Do straw man arguments count for or against?
Test it out, see it work. I'm not saying verbatim if your argument counts or not, and it's not my personal opinion if I agree with you or not. Like, I will be as subjective as possible with your examples that you may use.
You mean objective?
No, he meant what he said.
Oh yeah, he meant what he said.
Yeah.
He will you will be as subjective as possible.
Sorry, objective. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Not subjective. My bad. All right, and Keith, just for you, I chose the first one for you, and I know you're gonna love this because it's your thing. It's your wheelhouse. It's your non grata or whatever you would say.
Persona non grata.
Yeah.
Is it a question about being a miserable, objectionable bastard?
It's got to be a Mass Effect question. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, it's not. So what happened this week was Activision CEO and Blizzard, Bobby
Kotick.
Kotick?
Bobby Kotick.
He's taken a 50% pay cut until 2023. Why did he do this? Aren't they just a bunch of greedy bastards?
Yes, they are. Especially Bobby Kotick. It was, let me know when the timer starts. And
Sorry, hold on. I
forgot.
Yeah, usually when I say the question to you, it should start, but I accidentally didn't get ready for it. So I have a timer on my end, and it will beep, and you will hear the beep when it goes off. In the future, I might have a counter down there that you'll be able to see so that you know how much time you have left, but you can keep track yourself too. But you have 1 minute and 30 seconds. So go ahead.
I don't believe for any other reason other than self-interest that this decision was made. Bobby Kotick hasn't taken a 50% pay cut on his base salary for out of the goodness of his heart after his ability to lay off a few hundred people on a semi-regular basis whilst earning massive bonuses and the company making record profits. Matt, record profits. It's not like they're a struggling company. Record profits year on year. 100 million in the last 2 quarters from Call of Duty Warzone microtransactions alone. What this has been based on is the objection from a shareholder group who have been lobbying Activision for more details about his remuneration. And I think this is what has led Lord Bobby of the... I can't remember which circle of hell greed was, but he's definitely there, and that's what's led him and the other board of directors to agree a cutting of his base salary. I'm sure most of this will end up getting stacked into bonuses of other kinds. So he's going to be fine. No one worried about
fourth circle of hell.
Fourth circle of hell, great, thank you very much. Where they've got purses around their necks full of gold, so they're hunched over because they're...
Time's up. Nice. That was a good way to start it. See, this is the kind of style, guys. Follow McWomble's lead. He did a great job.
I'm so glad you didn't ask me that question because I didn't have a lot of those deets.
Yeah, I didn't have all those details.
Including more Activision news, Toys for Bob is now moving away from making Crash games into assisting Call of Duty Warzone, along with laying off a bunch of employees in the process. So, I'm sorry, Matt. You two are the same person. I'm just kidding. So Matt Womble.
One's got a beard and one doesn't.
I did until about 2 days ago.
Yeah. And I had one as of this morning, but I shaved it all off. Anyways,
I have one for all of you.
Well, he makes up for all of us. So, Matt, should they stop making yearly Call of Duties and focus only on Warzone?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for years now, that they need to just have an online multiplayer version of the game and just focus on that, because it's the same fucking game every year anyway. They might change up the modes, they might, change up the weapons or, things that you can do in multiplayer or whatever, but effectively it's the same game. And I think they finally realized that, and that's what they're doing. Once they merge it with the standard deathmatch and kill confirmed and all that kind of stuff, they bring that into Warzone.
Domination.
It'll be complete. And whether or not they actually make single player campaigns moving forward, I don't know. But I do think that they should offer those as well as a separate project.
That's all.
That's pretty much all
Oh,
I got.
Did anyone else fall asleep during Matt's answer? Or is it just me? Can I have his spare time?
No, you can't have his spare time. We'll use the spare time to go to Mike's queue. Same question. What do you think?
Oh, for Call of Duty. Well, to be honest, I personally have been over the Battle Royale since about the first year. I don't have a problem with it. I understand why people like doing it, because it's like, oh man, it's not just me versus like a group versus another group. It's like, if I get victorious, that means I am the best. I'm the GOAT of that 20-minute or 30-minute session or whatever. But yeah, Call of Duty has shown that they are perfectly capable of making up that ground for not having that initial bump of $60 to $70 or 60 to 70 quid for the initial purchase of the game, and still can just rack in that money. I agree with Burkhoff that if they moved away from an annualized release, they would have to find a way to roll in the classic modes that people love playing, like your normal deathmatch, your domination, your kill confirmed, to be able to have a way to play that free to play in that free to play game. Because to be honest, that I don't play Warzone. I would consider occasionally, I haven't in almost 10 years, but I would consider getting one because I like playing those other modes. I really don't care for the Battle Royale. And if it's only Battle Royale, that to me, that's like, I'm never touching Call of Duty again. I have nothing against those people who play it, but it would be really interesting to see if there was a way to balance whether or not, you know, the normal progression of your prestiging and unlocking weapons and unlocking stuff like that could be translated into a free to play.
Okay.
Mitch, may I ask a question quickly?
Yeah.
These two numpties, how big do they think this game's going to be? Because what they're talking about is with Activision game sizes, would probably take up the entire PS5 hard drive.
That's a good point. I'll give you one
Sorry,
point for it.
Mitch, I know this won't count for my points, but I just realized that both Burkov and I ignored the initial thrust of the actual question. How do you feel about Toys for Bob being taken off trash?
Well, too
Neither
bad,
of us.
Too bad. It's gonna go to Dan. Dan, what?
No, it's fine. I just realized. Wait a second. Because I fed off Burkhoff, I realized. Oh, I didn't say anything about Toys for Bob.
Yeah, Dan, they didn't say anything about Toys for Bob. Is Toys for Bob just was that Crash game just so bad? It's like not worth keeping Toys for Bob to try something new?
You shouldn't have asked me this question because I don't really give a rat's ass.
You don't have to personally give a rat's ass. You just have to convince me to give you points.
Well, no, I know, but I was hoping you'd change topics because the first time I was like, I'm just already checked out. But no, I will make up some bullshit and hopefully you give me a mark just for my creativity. No, I do think it's a shame when you take away, and this happened in a few places, you're taking away developers that are making reasonably good games and moving them onto Battle Royale games to support the moneymaker. But this feeds back into Keith's point where they're just greedy, rich bastards and they don't really care about their other IP as long as they're getting their monthly Battle Pass checks in the mail. Which is a shame for a developing team that did have made such a. I thought the Crash game, I haven't played it, but looked quite good. It seemed to review reasonably well. So it's a shame that they have those employees having to move on and support a Battle Royale franchise which actually in the last year, I think me and Keith discussed this, hasn't really changed at all, apart from they put some random ass fucking zombies on the map. And then we're like, oh yeah, they're going to move around. And now we've nuked the map. But even then, it wasn't like the crazy change that Fortnite had done in the past, and even actually Apex Legends have done. Like I feel like in the time I've been playing Apex Legends, the game mode has changed in a month compared to Warzone that I played for almost a year with Keith. And apart from like Respawn Island, the game didn't really change in any aspect at all. So what are they doing with that money? Just putting it in the bank and getting rich. So he's like, yeah, I'll take the pay cut because I'll get the big bonus at Christmas anyway that will top me over the path of the pay cut I've just taken. So it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's just all greedy bastards trying to get richer, really, and screwing over the developers that want to make decent games for everyone else.
All right. Oh yeah, I should say you guys are doing a good job. When the time is up, like just try to sum it all up.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You were doing it, and Mike's Q did it too. I'm okay giving you a little bit more time. Sorry, McWomble, I cut you off on that in the first one, but I'm okay if you guys wrap it up in a bow with trying to finish your point. So
It's called pulling a Don Casanova.
But Activision news isn't over yet, Keith. We have tons of Activision news that came out this month. Can't you believe it? And one of the industry icons, Jeff
Sharpening
Kaplan,
his knife.
left Blizzard and is now focused. And after he focused on big properties like World of Warcraft and Overwatch, and he was working on Overwatch 2. Now Overwatch 2 has a new director. Have too many people left Blizzard? Is there a chance they've lost the magic?
I'm so sorry for Corey, who you can follow on Twitter at MyThickGriffin. Corey has been in a state of mourning over Jeff Kaplan leaving Blizzard for at least a week since the news came out. If anyone wants to check on Corey, please send him a message.
I wish he came on the show today. It would have been perfect for him.
It would have been perfect because he would have just been there sad, sat in the corner. He wouldn't have even been able to answer this question. He would have just been there crying. So go send Corey some support. Good feels. My Thick Griffin, MyThickGriffon on social media. Blizzard hasn't been Blizzard for a long time. Since they became Activision Blizzard, basically. What level of directorial oversight do you have on the games that he was working on that can't be done by someone else who's come up from within? I don't know. And frankly, who cares? I seriously do. When I read this story, it's like, yeah, all right, some guy moves on. Big deal. People are losing their minds over this because he was part of the original Blizzard founding setup, which I don't even think is correct. But again, like I said, I don't entirely care. Blizzard make a whole host of games that I don't want to play. I'm not fussed about Diablo. As much as that's had its influence on the wider gaming culture, I don't care. Blizzard are quite happy to kowtow to a totalitarian state when it suits them. Not fussed.
Okay. Matt, as a PC gamer yourself, is this crazy? Is Blizzard going off the hinges? Is Activision being the next EA and potentially going to kill Blizzard?
No, I think that the fact that BlizzCon still exists and you've got all of these rabid fans, as long as they keep pushing expansions to Warcraft and are able to come out with a new Diablo or do something like that, I don't think so. I think that they've got enough there that they can continue going on. I don't know. I don't really care either. I don't play any of those games. Like, it's not interesting to me.
But it may be not interesting to you, but isn't there a ton of fans out there?
Yeah. Okay. So this is the thing that fucking kills me. Like, of course the guy left. Like, what are they doing? They're re-releasing World of Warcraft expansion by expansion. You're doing the same fucking thing over again. Like, and that's what people are interested in. They don't really give a shit about all the new stuff. So yeah, I don't know. They're going to exist in name, I guess, and maybe they'll come out with something interesting like another Overwatch or whatever. But yeah, it's just I haven't played Blizzard games with the exception of Diablo 3 to however many 6-7 years ago. Yeah.
Mike, do you got something in this corner here?
I do got something in this corner because I grew up with so many people touting the glory of Blizzard, Diablo 2, even Diablo 1, Warcraft 3, World of Warcraft. And I got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to jump on this hype train. I pre-purchased Diablo 3. It was the last time and the first time I ever purchased a Blizzard product. I was so disappointed in what that ended up being. I hear Diablo 3 is pretty great now, but I'm really pissed that they used several years of Diablo 3 as a beta for their console Diablo release. I'm pretty salty about that. I did buy Overwatch, but when it was steeply discounted, and I played it and I enjoyed it. It's not like, this is great. It runs on so many different levels of PCs, but to be honest, I missed the progression. I'm like, if this was a single player or if there was some sort of progression I could work to more than just skins, I'd be much more into this. But I fell off after just a couple of months. I'm like, this is good, but I'm moving on. Blizzard to me does not make games that I care about, like hands down. And just from my outside, I'm like, I never got to experience the chill of being Blizzard. And I think they are doing so many things that are missing steps time after time after time. And I don't know if it's because of Activision or because Blizzard themselves have just lost what they were trying to do. Like PoE is a better Diablo at this point. And Diablo 4 is just them trying to recapture what they had 20 years ago.
Okay.
Let's not forget the mobile game.
I know.
May I make one comment?
Sure. You don't get points for it.
Even if it might be humorous. The way I feel about Blizzard is it's like the Activision Blizzard are like Big Pharma. So on one hand, they'll hike the price of insulin 220%, but then they'll give some bandages to a third world country for free. So this is Activision and this is Blizzard. And I think people need to start associating the two companies more together rather than just thinking of Activision and Blizzard. Thank you.
I mean, they are called Activision Blizzard.
But hardly anyone refers to them with the proper title.
Yep.
Right.
That's true. And I have a feeling Dan does not want to talk about this, so he would like me to pick a different question. Or do you got something?
No, I do want to talk about
You
this.
got some beef? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Some beef Wellington.
Go right ahead. Pull it
If you
that
know
beef
anything about
Wellington.
me.
Have it cooking.
So the only Blizzard game I do not own is Overwatch. I have played hundreds of hours of every other Blizzard game that has been mentioned. I was a massive World of Warcraft fan until they brought the pandas and fucking ruined the fucking game.
Pandaria.
You can blame Jack Black
fucking
for that
waste
one.
of time. I got Diablo 3 for free because I was like an exclusive World of Warcraft member. Played the beta, played it. I didn't have Mikey's experience, loved it. I had 4 friends. We all played it together for hours into it. Playing it by yourself is shit, but that's what I mean. Unless you've got people to play these games with, don't bother. But I always had people to play these with, and we jumped around.
That was it. Was mostly me trying to do single player.
And yeah, it's not fun by yourself. I would agree with that. It got better when the console releases came out. You could play by yourself a bit better. So I do agree with you there, Mikey. What I would say is it has gone massively downhill since Activision took over. And they have just destroyed a lot of their IPs and just been lazy with them, in my opinion. They've been lazy with updates. They've been lazy with... And they've kind of put themselves on a pedestal to go, we don't have to release a game for like 7 years. Like Rockstar status, which they haven't. In my opinion, they don't have. So and the fact they've now fired this bloke who I'm not massive into the developers. But it must have been a big deal if people who are into that said it was, and so maybe that will have an impact going forward. But I think that Activision are just so obsessed with money now. That's their focus. So unless your property give me a monthly income, because obviously they've still got 4.9 million subscribers to World of Warcraft, and God knows how many people they've got on World of Warcraft Classic. I think you can play both if you've got one subscription, but still, that's mental. So they're getting all that money, and they're just like, oh yeah, we'll just put a little bit of content out. Oh, you can have an extra 10 levels. Oh yeah, it's bollocks. They've become a money-centered grabbing machine and moved away from. I'm a massive StarCraft and Warcraft, and I'd love a proper Warcraft game in the StarCraft vein. StarCraft 2 I loved. I loved the 3 games that came out. I played all the campaign. I want more of that, but it's not going to be more of that because they're just obsessed with the Activision connection of just making money in shortfall. So they might do a StarCraft, but they'll be like, you have to pay monthly, and it will be like a subscription model, and I'm not into that bollocks.
Okay.
So it's I'm blaming Activision and their fucking battle royale model of everything.
I have to ask, did you look up how many subscribers were on World of Warcraft while we were on the show?
No, actually.
Oh,
wow!
wow!
I was looking the other week.
Here,
I was looking the other week because I was just curious because I was thinking about jumping back in, and then no, I can't do that to myself. But I did jump back in when WoW Classic came out with 3 of my mates that we used to play at uni, and I literally played for a month and realized that I had no life. And again, it sucked me in. I was like, "Fuck this!" and I cancelled my subscription and walked away. So there we go.
well, I was gonna say that's the kind of numbers I love, so that's why he got so many points because he pulled out digits like that. So at the moment, Dan's in the lead. Oh man. So it's actually very close though. You guys are doing very good with this, but the more examples and more information you use besides personal feelings, the more points you're gonna get, just so you know. So, Keith, we had some demos this month. One game had 2 demos this month. Resident Evil Village released 2 30-minute demos, which the crazy part is you can complete those demos in 10 to 12 minutes. So, creating a time limit for a demo and then being able to beat it in less than that time, is that a great way to handle a demo?
Time limited demos are dumb anyway. So this was a dumb move, and they did a dumb move twice. Right, so releasing 2 separate demos for the same game is understandable. So you're releasing 2 separate sections of 2 separate map stages within the game. Okay, I get that. Time limiting them, I think, is stupid. So if you're going to release a demo, release it for a decent enough window of time that people can actually access it before blocking them off. So most of the time when people release demos in early access, it's from like a Thursday to Sunday. So people have got space that they can actually go away and play the game at their own leisure, or as we say, leisure.
Do you know?
Well, no, it's according to Eddie Izzard. The one thing I
Plan in a cupboard.
One thing I did think is if you're going to time limit it, put more content into your demo. So if you've got a 30-minute demo that someone can follow the critical path in 10, what are they doing for the other 20 minutes that they've got access? Are they just looking around at, oh, this is very lovely brick rendering? I haven't played either of them. I've got Resident Evil 7 saved on my Xbox thanks to Xbox Game Pass, allowing me access to a vast plethora of different genres that I've not tried before.
I thought about it just for fun.
Hashtag sponsored.
Down 2 for the sponsorship.
I don't get the decision to time limit them. Either just allow people to play the demo and allow them to play through it in different ways. Because if you can, because I haven't played it, I don't know if there's different ways that you can get through those sections, or if it is just you follow the critical path and that's it and done. That's just stupid. If you're going to allow people to have that extra time, there needs to be options available to the player to see if they could explore more or tackle the puzzles, challenges, combats in combats. It's like sports, going back to what we were talking about earlier. Challenge to allow the player more freedom during that period. Otherwise, you're showing them too much of a diminished product. I think that's what the worry. If I were the developers of Resident Evil 8, I would be worried about putting that out. And people now know that actually during these stages, this is the experience that you're going to get, and people won't be as interested as potentially they could have been.
All right.
And now an ice cream van's showing up.
It's telling you your time is up, man. It's telling you your time is up. Oh yeah, just so for the record, we're not going to cover PlayStation because we covered it too much in the last 2 weeks. So PlayStation really isn't on here. Anyway, Matt, what's your kind of demo? Like what's the perfect kind of demo?
The perfect kind of demo.
And by the way, you're in last, so you better really pick it up.
I mean, I've never been much of a competitive person, so it's fine. The perfect kind of demo is one that gives you just enough of a slice of all of the different parts of a game. So, like some of my favorite demos of all time, Tomb Raider 2, Parappa the Rappa, and probably Metal Gear Solid. The demo for that was kind of what we were talking about off camera when you were mentioning the RE8 demo and how you got through it in 10 or 15 minutes or whatever. The nice thing about Metal Gear Solid is the original game is that it does have some sandbox elements, right? And it has the enemy AI that you can kind of play with. And it may have been limited to around a 20-minute segment of the game. You can get through that segment in that time. But you could also take the time and just sort of play around with the enemies and see how they reacted to your behavior and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't. It's kind of odd to me that they would limit the time on these demos, number one, and that they would lock it down to just a specific segment, I guess. Just make it like the beginning of the game, and I don't know. I don't really care about Resident Evil 8 either, so.
But that wasn't my question. It was just about demos in general, and you.
Yeah, but I haven't played the demo, so I don't really know. Yeah.
But again, my question wasn't about Resident Evil demos, just about demos in general. But I see Mike's Q choking the trains going, ready to like pounce on in this one. So let's just throw it in there. What is it? What is it?
My perfect demo is shareware, baby. Shareware. 1/3 of the entire game in its completeness with all features, the ability to save, load, replay to your heart's share. Take a floppy disk, toss it to your mate, and he gets the experience with only about 3 or 4 instances where you are requested, hey, do you want to play more of this? Please visit this URL or go to this place and buy the rest of the game. That is my perfect demo. But so my favorites, Commander Keen, Doom, Wolfenstein, a lot of id Software / Apogee games came with shareware. Like so many of these games were fantastic and you could play them over and over. In the modern age, my perfect demo is one of two things. Either it is a specific level or it is a specific time amount, but there is kind of no cap on how far you can go. It's like you have 30 minutes. If you want to beeline it, get as far as you can, but you are still capped at that 30 minutes. And it gives a kind of internal competition, like how far can I make it in this 30 minutes? Because in the RE8 demos, there are 2 walls, either 30-minute cap or a certain amount of distance you can go. So like you butt up against two endpoints. I don't like that, either one or the other. My biggest complaint about the RE8 demo is the 1 token, the single quarter that you are given to try. Either you blaze through it, get to the end, or you blow all your 30 minutes. That sucks. That was probably one of the worst things that they could have done. But and that is actually what has contributed to I only have one chance. When do I play it? Do I play it late at night? Lights off, headphones on? Or do I play it later when I'm more alert, more zoomed up? I don't know. But then I have to deal with my daughter.
Gotcha. Well, Dan, I'm going to move on to the next topic just because of time stuff. You might like this topic better. We have E3 again. E3 got confirmed. for a digital event with Microsoft, Nintendo, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Square Enix, and Warner Brothers. Basically, no EA, but they might do something the day before like they always do. And no, for sure, Sony is going to be there. Is this method better than last year's method? Will this method of doing E3 digitally be better than last year's Keighley Summer of Games?
Is that for me?
That's for you.
Well, I bloody hope so. I think it's going to be a shit show, if I'm honest. I don't think anything we do see is going to be like 5 years away. I feel like the pandemic has put a real like spanner. They're going, oh, we're working really well remotely at home, but every single fucking game has been delayed. So they can't be working that fucking well at home, can they? Let's be honest. So we'll have to wait and see. But at least all those companies have signed up. I feel like Sony is taking its ball to its own park. Is a lot of bollocks. EA did that, and that pissed me off. Microsoft have actually even come back this year and realised, shit, we're leading in the consumer race right now. We're much more consumer forward facing and friendly. And Sony going, yeah, we're not coming. We might release something around them, but we're not coming, and running away to away into their own little playground to kick a ball against the wall by themselves. Just seems a bit pathetic. And actually, in the year we've had, actually, it would have been quite a nice touch for them to be involved as well, actually, and actually brought the whole industry back together. But having said that, is E3 needed really anymore? Well, I don't know, because all the news comes out way in advance. It's either leaked or you have anything on a daily basis or a weekly basis. So do we need this one time a year where you blow all the games out? Because I would say in the past you needed that, because I wouldn't say games was a relevant media almost. It was the mainstream media for that 1 week or whatever. But now everyone's playing something. Like, look at Animal Crossing during the pandemic. Everyone's playing some form of game. And so then they're up to date with the news for the games that they kind of like, I would say. So I think maybe it's dying out anyway. But
McWomble, the magic is back, right?
It can't be worse than last year.
Yeah,
I think they'd have to for it to have been worse than last year. They would have to really put effort into making it shit. Last year was somewhat of an anomaly for reasons that everyone knows about. If you don't know about those reasons, what the fuck have you been doing? I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's going to be more condensed, because everyone kind of doing their own thing on their own streams. Having E3 week as a set period of time is helpful for the industry. It's helpful for fans. It's helpful for games media, and it's helpful for mainstream coverage. Having what was last year E3 about 6 weeks. There was various different stuff coming out. It made it. It was.
I mean, it gave
absolutely
us
disjointed.
Stuff to talk
and then Sony did something in September.
Shut
I
up!
think,
This is my time.
well.
What the fuck are you guys playing at? Sony not being there. So what? Sony think that they're Nintendo now, and they're swimming in their own ocean with no one else there. As for the others being there, great. Maybe they've actually realised the worth of having a condensed, focused period of time rather than the piecemeal, somewhat drivel that we got. Because by the end of it, everyone had games fatigue over the summer. I stopped watching all of the live streams after the first couple of weeks, and I just watched archives and skipped all the JRPG bullshit I don't care about. So I'm glad it's back. I'm glad it's going to be condensed. I wish they didn't do what Dan mentioned, which is everything gets leaked in advance. I mean, please save some of the magic. If everything's leaked in advance, what's the point? Or if you're going to drip feed stuff, make sure that the drip feed is, one, interesting, and two, builds to something, so that when you're actually on stage giving your presentation, or people viewing from home, there's got to be something there that grips us. Otherwise, why are you even there? Otherwise, it's a shareholder call.
Yep.
And we're not interested in those. We're interested in products. The other thing that I would say is don't put a fucking pre-order now on the back end of every single fucking trailer that you put out.
Okay. So let's get to the last one because we're running out of time. But Matt,
Yes.
Outriders came out this month, didn't it?
Did it? I don't even know what game that is.
And it came out and it launched for PlayStation, PC, and Xbox Game Pass to many servers crashing.
Yeah.
And players losing hundreds of hours of their progress because they have to keep replaying sections of the game. Now, with that being said, which one will be the last one standing from Square Enix? Outriders or Marvel's Avengers?
Oh, that's a good question. I think at this point in time, neither. They're both going to go away. I don't know. Outriders might actually live through their server issues. I feel like it's probably a better game overall. And it has the Destiny legs. Because it does have some pretty compelling shooting. The mechanics are at least semi-interesting, whereas the mechanics for Marvel's Avengers don't really make a whole lot of sense for superheroes, at least in terms of the way I see it. So I think that Outriders will probably get through these server woes. The fact that it's on Game Pass and people don't have to pay for it, that's going to keep some users there. It will probably go free to play eventually anyway. So as long as they can keep a consistent player base for right now, in 6 months to a year, it'll be a totally different game. And could be their games as a service that will actually do some decent numbers.
All right. The same thing to you, Mike's Q. Which one's gonna come victorious?
Okay. I think Square Enix is going to try at least one more big push for Avengers, but I don't think it's going to stick because fundamentally they didn't build really the right game for those types of characters. To be honest, I applaud the effort, but I don't think that the starting low, building up to high as an established superhero
Right.
is something that works. If it was the DC superheroes or whatever, where you built a character, that'd be a different thing because you're fresh on the block. You're a new meat. Like you are learning your capabilities. You're learning your own weaknesses. That's a different thing. I think Outriders actually has a lot of actually good story and lore and base that they could build a lot of different offshoots. And I actually think that they have plenty of fertile ground for building really compelling, interesting, like chunked expansions. I think that that's where Outriders' strength lies. Like overall, I think people love the combat. I think people love the different take on the combination of the kind of Gears of War abilities, shooting and stuff like that. I think it's got a really good core and a really good potential for new expansions. They just tripped a little getting out because they were trying to get a whole big package and they still flubbed it on the technical aspect of, for whatever reason, why their servers won't work. Everyone I've talked to who've played Outriders absolutely loves playing the game. And that's first and foremost. That's why Destiny 2 is still around. That's why I have still jump in or whatever, because I can spend a single chunk of money to buy the latest expansion or season. And I still, moment to moment, enjoy doing everything that I'm doing. Even if it is a grind or whatever, in retrospect, you're like, why did I do that? Because it was flipping fun to play. And I think Outriders has that magic sauce as well. And if they can combine it with their, like, what happened to the ship, what happened to the different things, and expand on that lore, they maybe not to the same extent as like Destiny 1 Taken King levels of like, wow, this is amazing. But I think they have an awesome advantage in that they've built a very good story base for them to continue to move on. And I think Outriders very much so will win out over Avengers.
Dan, last word on it.
Yep. So I think that Outriders will last over Avengers. First and foremost, Outriders came out on Game Pass. Obviously not free, but Game Pass has a lot of subscribers. I think majority of my friends this and Xbox were all playing Outriders at one time or another. The ones when I saw them online anyway. So, and then I jumped on. It was very easy when you could get on the servers. The only time I actually did try and play with someone, I had no problems. I jumped on with Keith. We played. He helped me level up. It was really good fun. I like the fact that it caps the person who's a higher level. So Keith jumped into my game. His health was there, but all his abilities were like de-skilled, so we could play together, and he could still have the challenge.
Borderlands 3 wise.
It makes it a real compelling multiplayer game to keep on going. And as long as it stays on Game Pass, and that thing stays on Game Pass, I think people will keep on going back to it, because I think the server issues will sort themselves out. I think part of that was I don't think they really realised put it on Game Pass would have so many people flooded to the game, and I think that was part of the server issue as well. Because all those people are like, oh, new game, because Xbox Game Pass has been a barren service for new games with like that kind of level of playability. Like the gameplay is amazing. I think Marvel's Avengers is a complete mess. And actually, they may have done better and had longer progression if it had come out on Game Pass day and date or PlayStation Plus day and date, because people might have got involved with it. But even from the people I've spoken to who have played it, it doesn't have that staying power that I think Outriders will have. Especially with added expansions and things.
Well, good job, everybody. This was well done. And we do have a victor. It is Dan with 34 points. And
I really want an explanation of this scoring matrix.
the Mitchometer?
The Mitchometer. So, Dan, you get 2 minutes right now.
Oh, God, I don't know what to talk about.
To talk about anything.
Just read us a poem.
Anything you want to talk about. Any news topic from the week, anything that's bugged you that someone else said, anything you want. Your time starts now.
What has bugged me is the hate for Sony. Okay, as someone who is new to the Xbox world, and actually I was potentially Sony fanboy before I got my Xbox, and now I can't. Yeah, exactly. I can't say anything bad really about my Xbox. How much enjoyment I'm having out of it. The Game Pass experience is amazing, but what I don't understand is this all of a sudden scaredness of people going that Sony are going to drop the ball and all their first parties are going to be a complete mess. And all this like, oh, we're not sure if Sony's going to... Because as you've just seen, Returnal, yeah, the price is ridiculous. It probably should be half that. But the game itself seems to be holding up quite well for review, and everyone seems to be really enjoying it. And so I think, hold on a second, Sony are making great games. Will that be my first-party exclusive box? Probably. Is Xbox now a multiplayer box? Probably, but mainly because of Game Pass, I would say. I'm still getting... Mass Effect Legendary Edition on my PlayStation 5. So there will be some games I buy that I will buy on PlayStation 5 over the Xbox. But I think that I'm just a bit shocked by, like, on our feed, the hatred towards Sony. I'm like, yeah, Sony are a bit of bastards because they're winning. Yeah, it's smug. But do they deserve all this hatred? I don't think so. I think we need to live in a world where there's less Sony fanboy, Xbox fanboy, and just enjoy what the services each of them are giving us. Xbox, great. Consumerism, giving me free games every month. Perfect. Can play with my friends. Sony, when they come out, great first-party exclusives. I completely understand what Keith's doing, what he's doing. Wait for a few years, wait till all those first parties are out, and then maybe jump in then. No, he did that with the PlayStation 4. Got no problem with people doing that. But this, like, unnecessary hatred towards these companies when actually Sony has every first party game I've decided to buy for Sony, I've absolutely loved and I haven't been let down by. Obviously there'll be some that people don't like, but the games I've bought I've thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, there's my it might be less than 2 minutes, but that's all I have to say. It
was right on the money, so you're good.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for trying this fun game. Hopefully it pleases McWomble enough that he would want to play again. It's because he
lost. Why would he want to play again?
Because he could win. He actually almost won. He was tied in second place with Mike's Q. It's it happens. Sometimes it's the topics. It's just who knows. That's how the chips fall.
I think you should change the order because going last does help you or spur you on, especially if you can see the scoreboard. I would say that would be my.
Yeah,
it should have snaked.
I've thought of red robining or snaking. So there's things to adjust the game, but I thought it was a lot of fun for you guys.
I think you should adjust the scoring.
I think that is the stamp of approval for McWomble. This will be a monthly segment that we will have every single at the end of the month to cover the news in the industry, because then we can talk about all our other fun topics and keep this exciting. So like I said before, if you like us, you can find us on Twitter at pixel_pints. We post when we go live on Twitch at twitch.tv/pixelpints. We go live on the weekends. The times vary based off of availability of people, so we basically will just follow us on Twitter and you'll see when we go live. And you can watch the archive on Twitch, or you can go to YouTube and follow us at Pixel Pints. Give us a subscribe, give us thumbs up, watch the content when we post the archive there as well. We're also on every single podcast service you can ever think of. I should probably list the score for our audio listeners only. McWomble had 30 points, Burkoff had 22 points, Mike's Q got 30 points, and Dan came on top with 34 points. So it was a close match throughout.
I think Dan got an unnecessary Sony bump because you obviously you want
even with your pitch of Game Pass there, I only minused you 2 points, so you would have still been you still would have got second.
You obviously carried that forward in your mind. You obviously can't be trusted with this power.
All right, guys, I gotta bounce. I'm hard out.
Yeah,
you guys have an awesome afternoon, evening, morning, whatever's going on for you guys.
For sure. Right. So thank you all to all my prestigious guests. Everything's going to go funky in a second, but I'm just going to hard out with all the music and stuff in like 2 seconds. So follow us on all our stuff, and we will catch you next time. Our stuff looks really funky right now, but
yeah, it does.
Woo!
I was trying to be slightly more positive on Outriders. I really did want to ask Mikey, like, how are you so excited about a post-apocalyptic zombie fest? Because that's basically what it is.
Well, if Mitch had thrown that question to me, I would have won this game.